Welcome to What Healthy Couples Know That You Don't, a podcast dedicated to helping you create the relationship you truly want.
Joy on Purpose, real-life strategies to reclaim your spark. Joy is more than fleeting happiness. It is a deeper, sustaining energy that gives our lives vitality and meaning. While happiness often depends on circumstances, joy is something we can cultivate, even amid stress, uncertainty, or conflict. It's the quiet undercurrent that helps us bounce back from hard days and reconnect. The more we allow joy in, the more it softens our relationships. Today, we will explore practical ways to expand joy. Too often, adults treat joy as optional, something for weekends or vacations. Yet research consistently shows that joy and play are essential for emotional regulation, empathy, and long-term relationship satisfaction, my favorite thing. Joy keeps love from becoming only about problem solving or roommates living together or survival. It softens edges, restores curiosity, and reminds us why we chose each other in the first place. Cultivating joy also means reclaiming our individuality within relationships. We need sources of joy that are ours alone, hobbies, friendships, music, moments of solitude, because our fulfillment fuels what we bring to others. Two people who each take ownership of their own joy create a relationship that feels alive instead of stagnant. Today's guest will help us explore how joy operates both as a personal practice and as a relational bond. Elizabeth Webb is a transformation coach with 20 plus years helping thousands of women, leaders, and creatives reset their lives. She is the author of Made for Magic, a practical guide from survival mode to soul-satisfying joy. Just published. She has supported partners through relationship repair in New York, Spain, Sweden, and the Dominican Republic. She's featured in the best-selling book, Live It, Love It, Earn It, and she writes the widely shared Love Beams Notes on Practical Joy. I really am glad you came today. I think joy and pleasure are things that we miss out on. Thanks for being here.
I'm thrilled to be here, and these are my favorite subjects. Underexplored and the perfect things to be talking about.
All right. I really appreciated your chapter 2, which is about choices, because I firmly believe our lives are all about our choices. You quote Carl Jung allegedly saying, "I am not what happened to me, I am what I choose to become." Talk to us about choice and why it matters, and what are some choices you recommend?
Oh, I love this question. Thank you, Rhoda. So the reality is, if we don't have this distinction around choosing to be who we are today or turn a new leaf and not be this collection of what's happened to us or what we've done in the past, not that let those things define us. If we're not claiming our identity powerfully in the now, what ends up unconsciously happening is we're living as a collection of these stories from the past. Things that we did that we're proud of, things that we did that we're not proud of, things that people did to us that we didn't like. And that is not a present time conscious way to live an empowered life. And it's not alive. The book is called Made for Magic. And that almost sounds woo and like, what does that even mean, right? But what magic is it's the study of feeling alive and really channeling the possibility that's present in this now moment. If we're living as a past version, that's not available to us. So a choice that I really recommend that people make is to look at what you want to define your existence as. Like, the I am statements are really powerful. And often when we don't examine them, we'll go, I am tired. I am old, which I hear women start saying at like 28. I'm like, well, no, incorrect, abort, right? So I am old, I am tired, I am busy, I am overwhelmed, I am depressed. And reclaiming these I am statements, realizing that those little unconscious words cast spells over our lives, reclaiming them, you can say, I feel. This is not about bypassing how you feel. I feel tired. I feel, which acknowledges that that's a fluid, temporary thing that will come through like the river, right? But the I am statements, those are choices about who you are, who you be in the world. I am powerful. I am brave. I am sensual. I am adventurous. I am resilient. I am strong. These are real identity makers. So I say be at choice about what you're claiming and speaking over your life, and really be aware of when you're living out past stories, and really be aware of just what you're claiming. And that's part of being at choice. Being at choice, it's a theme that I weave throughout the book because I think it's one of the most powerful things we can do is realize, oh, I'm at choice. Something stressful happened. I'm at choice. How long am I going to spiral about this? Someone hurt my feelings. I'm at choice. How long am I going to be withdrawn? We have choices constantly.
That's right. And I think there's neuroscience. I can't remember where I read it that says that it's really important to make those kinds of positive statements to yourself, not exaggerated or phony, but things that you really can believe and grab onto, and that would really help.
Mm-hmm. Right. So we're always collecting data and making meaning from the data that you collect. So it really matters what data you're looking for. What are you tracking and stacking as you go throughout your day? Are you tracking and stacking little moments of rejection, like that side eye that someone gave you, or like perceiving little slights throughout the day? Or are you looking for things that you're proud of? Like what we're actively seeking, we will find, and that's what we'll end up amplifying. And the human brain does have a negativity bias. Most of us are aware of this that are interested in self-development. The human brain has a negativity bias. So naturally, the painful moments of life take up more space in our memory bank. So in order to have a neutrality or a positivity bias of the brain, we have to actually like work it out.
That's right.
Actively seek the gems, actively seek the compliments, and go, oh, ooh, that was amazing. Oh, like, and feel that and amplify those moments and those feelings, because our perception of how our life is going creates more of that. And it is a choice. It is.
So, building on that, would you share your exercise about listing all the people or situations you are villainizing and why, and the importance of deflating each story?
Yes, yes, yes. So this is something that I recommend clients to do. This is also something that I've done in my own life. And I'm sure because you are of a certain awareness level, Rhoda, you've probably done this too. Mm-hmm. Like, have you ever made someone in your past the reason why not?
Yes.
Yeah, right. I don't have this because they did this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It's very high school.
Yes, exactly. Like, I'm not going to the party because he's going, or I can't do that because they already did that, or they did this to me, therefore I can't, or I had a bad business deal, that's why I'm X, Y, and Z, broke, out of, wasted time, all of these things. So if you're living an interesting life, which I sincerely hope that we all are, you're going to have villains in your story. And you're also going to be the villain in other people's stories. Right?
That's right.
That's just part of the game of living an interesting life. Like if you're in relationships, if you're starting things, if you're starting entrepreneurial things, if you're just in any kind of community, guess what? You're going to be the villain in some people's stories. You're going to have villains in your stories, in your perception of reality. And I really recommend going into, so this exercise that you're referencing, this is in my book. So you list out the people that have the most potent blame around them in your story. So for me, it was an ex of mine, right? His name's Eric. It's neutralized, but 3 years ago, it was not neutralized, and it was banging. It was like a banging in my ears that like he had not done what he said he was going to do, and because of that, I didn't get to have my happily ever after, and I felt ripped off by him. I felt lied to. I blamed him. I blamed God. I blamed myself, and there was just so much charge around it that it was like a drum beating in my ears, truly. It was so noisy. And what I had to do, and I did this multiple times, there was no silver bullet of like, oh, you look at it one time and it's over. But you really need to do an audit. Who are the people that you are blaming for not having certain results in your life? Maybe it's 2 people. It might be mom. It might be dad. It might be sister. It might be ex. It might be current partner. But really listing those out and just taking a look at it and letting yourself feel the nasty disgust that goes along with like, oh gosh, I have this dream. Say your dream is to, I don't know, live by the sea, go to the West Coast, live in a beautiful like town on the sea, and you have a story that you can't because of your sister, or you can't because of this or that. It's looking at, I've stopped this and I've withdrawn my energy from this dream because of the sister. I'm feeling wronged by her, and I'm in the blame instead of the creation. So it's looking at this situation, owning it, that you've withdrawn your own energy from this dream. You've made her the villain of the story. It's then realizing how you co-created that situation with them. Even if you think you had no responsibility, you were there. Like, how did you enable that? Did you let it go on too long? Were you naive? Like, what responsibility can you take in it?
You have to have some responsibility.
Right?
Yeah.
Because you were there. You were there. Even if it was an accident, you were there, right? So it's owning the co-creation and saying, I forgive you for my own benefit. Not because it's like Pollyanna, the nice thing to do, but I forgive you for my own benefit to reclaim this energy around my dream. You do that as many times as you need to. And then you decide to get back in creation mode and channel that charge of whatever you feel like you've been wronged for into creation and reclaim that.
It's a way of changing that stuckness, the negative narrative, the story that goes on in your head that makes you the innocent victim, and being able to do all that blame and being able to give it more complexity, more context. And I think that's really important. I like that a lot. I loved your focus on a common relationship pitfall. Please expand on this, because I agree it's connected to managing expectations, which can increase joy. And I just don't think we talk about expectations enough. I think people get ideas in their head and they get stuck. So please, let's talk about it.
Absolutely. So this is another one I learned the hard way. I've seen other people learn it the hard way. There's many common relationship pitfalls, but the one we're going to go into is assumption. Mm-hmm. And assumption is like this silent driver of the expectations, like the assumptions like driving the chariot forward. So the assumption could be, well, if we fall in love, then we're going to be monogamous. He is going to put a ring on it in the next year, and then we're going to create a household together. And we'll probably, I've always wanted to live by the ocean, so we'll probably move, to one of the coasts. And then we're gonna, your story of your life is playing out, and you're kind of inserting someone into that in your mind and not speaking any of it out loud. And we do this all the time, and we're not even aware of it. And then when it doesn't go that way, we can feel deeply betrayed.
Yes.
Yeah, and I hear a laugh of recognition. Do you relate to this?
Yeah. I still remember a woman who said, well, he brought me candy and flowers, but he really should have taken me out to dinner too. And I just said, whoa, wait a second. Did you talk about what you think you should happen on Valentine's Day together? Did you explore that? Did you have some agreement? And you're right. People keep these ideas in their head without examination.
Totally, totally. So I feel like the assumption, all that needs to happen there is that your quiet stories about what should unfold need to be spoken out loud.
Yes. Yeah. Instead of hoarded.
These should not be secrets. These are not things to write in your journal and not say out loud. These are things that we need to speak out loud. Like, oh, I was always thinking that I would like this. Is that something that you would like? Or is that, tell me what is your vision? And have someone tell you their vision without interrupting or weighing in or projecting, so you actually know and you can see on the Venn diagram like what you're working with that intersects.
The other person may feel Valentine's Day is a Hallmark holiday and it's not that important, and they don't even have a mindset about it, and they are completely taken by surprise. It's really, I think those kinds of conversations about what are meaningful holidays, what's important to you, what needs to happen, etc. I think those conversations really help a lot. Could you talk about why criticism is ineffective as communication, which I completely agree with?
Yeah, so criticism is a really interesting thing. The reason why we tend to criticize, first of all, let me say that some people criticize and they don't even realize that they're
I bet
criticizing.
that's true. Yeah.
They don't even know, and this gets passed down from generation to generation. It's like if the mom or the dad was a complainer and their way of communicating was commentary on what other people are doing all the time, and it's corrective constantly, that's actually criticizing, and that's pretty invalidating. So I can't really, I don't want to say I can't help those people because that's not true, but if there's an unconscious pattern playing of dismissiveness and invalidation that's just spewing out of someone, I mean, I almost would say that's definitely not my client. I'm talking about people who are trying to get a result that's different from their partner. So how they go about it is, you never blah blah blah. Why do you always blah blah blah? I would never blah blah blah, but you, like, if it was me, like, I would never plan a date night last minute. You should have had a reservation a week ago. So, right? So what's under that is a desire. And I'm not sure, this is not my line. I don't know who came up with this line. But I heard someone else say, under every complaint is a desire.
Oh, I'm sure that's true. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So if that's true, let's take the last minute date night example. So if that's true, there's a desire under there for a plan in advance. It's intentional, makes you feel like there's more care, makes you feel like you're not an afterthought, makes you feel like romance is at the forefront, like, you're important, right? So there's all this meaning attached to the plan in advance. The other person has no idea. They're like, "Oh, yeah, day night. Okay, we'll go to the diner on the corner. What's the biggie?" Right? So the desire is for intentional romance that goes along with a plan. And if that is said in a way that calls the other person, let's say it's the man in this case, most likely it is, to call the man forward and go, baby, I'm so happy that you made the time to do a date night for us tonight. Like, I know there's a million other things that we could be doing besides that. I really love a date night. And what would make this so even more satisfying for me would be to know where we're going, like a couple days in advance, and have an advance plan, because then I can get excited about what I'm wearing. I can put it in my calendar, and I can, I like to look up the menu, and it just creates this whole other level of an experience for me that feels less like casual, and it actually really turns me on when you have a plan like that. Like, are you open to that? Or you could say, you never make a plan in advance. You choose, what do you think is going to elicit the result?
So that's an example of a clean ask, which I really appreciated, because I think we contaminate so many things when we're talking to our partners or boyfriends and girlfriends or whatever. And I think what I liked was you have a difference between a need, a preference, and a desire. And is there anything else you want to say about the distinction between those three?
I feel like, first of all, the distinction. Let's shine a big bright light on that there are these distinctions, because some of us, many of us, lump all of these together.
That's right. That's why I thought it was important. Yeah, I think that's right.
It's just how it's said. It's a need. It's like, if I'm not getting it, I feel deprived of air and water. That's a need. A preference is, oh, that would be nice. Like, I would like this better than I would like that. I would like Chinese food more than I would like sushi. I would like it if you got a haircut every month versus every 3 months. I would like it if you would put your shoes to the right side instead of the left side where all the other shoes are. Those are preferences for most of us. Right? So it's like, oh, I prefer this
Yeah.
over I prefer that. Need is like, if I don't get this, I am not okay in this connection. And you have to determine for yourself, what is that? What are those things that are the bare necessities of, like, you must have these things in order to feel like the connection is healthy for you. And then there's the desires, and that's like the dessert, That's the whipped cream and the cherry on top of all of it. It's like, okay, I need dinner, right? I prefer it to be here. And then I want this for dessert, like, I want the whipped cream, and I want the cherry, and I want the mood lighting, and I want the music, and I want it to be jazz. Like, it's a different energy, a juicier, more full energy than a preference, a casual preference. So just having language around these things so that we can relate differently to them and ask for them differently, not think that all of our preferences are needs, because they're not.
Yeah.
And if you relate to all of your many preferences like they're needs, that sets the other person up for never feeling like they can win with you ever, which is not going to work out, right? They'll stop trying to please you.
That's right.
Um,
That's right. They give up.
and you would
That's
too.
right. Because it's impossible. Yeah. Yeah. I like your clarity. There's a lot of clarity, and there's also a lot of asking people to have more self-awareness, that they really need to look at themselves and how they go about asking things or thinking about things, and maybe some fresh ideas that can help make it better, make it work. Yeah. So please share your empowered conversation cheat sheet, which helps a request to
Oh,
land.
yeah. Okay. So this is based on something that I learned from Allison Armstrong. I really recommend her work. And what she teaches, this is a modernized version of the needs conversation. So I would save this for the needs. This is not how you talk about a preference. This is not how you talk about a desire. This is for a need. One of the first most important things, one of the biggest mistakes that we make is trying to insert our needs and ask for a need in the heat of the moment. We're angry, there's a miscommunication happening, it's fiery, and you're like, I need this. I need you to make more money. I need you to contribute more. Guess what? It's not going to happen. Not like, probably not. So timing, 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 timing. So picking a time where there's a neutral, calm moment. Asking the other person, like, hey, I'd love to check in with you about something. Is this a good time? No, it's not. Okay, okay, then let's make a time. When can we chat? Do not say we need to talk. Never ever say we need to talk. Doom music comes on, right? The trauma response starts.
Dum
And
dum
you
dum
say,
dum.
we need to talk, or something's wrong. I need to share it. Like, no. And then we've got a negative start to the conversation. So you
Right.
set the right moment, you have the conversation, you start off with something that's working about the situation. I love that the date night thing is so easy. I'm just gonna go back to it. I also think it's something that couples know they should do, and a lot of them have trouble executing because of the busyness of life, right? I will
Yeah.
use that example. So it's like, all right, you've set this time, it's the right time to talk. It's like, I love you and I love us, and I really need like one date night with you every 2 weeks. And then it's saying what it looks like. That would look like us carving out 3 hours, putting our phone away, and, going to something intentional. Then you say what it doesn't look like. This doesn't mean we have to take off all of a Friday. It doesn't mean we have to do it every week, but like once every 2 weeks would really fill my cup for this. So you say what you want, you say what it would provide for you, you say what it would look like, you say what it wouldn't look like, so make sure you get in there. What this would provide for me is something to look forward to, and a chance to like intentionally get turned on, where the cute like little set that I bought, I got something cute, and it would give me ways to just kind of wake up and feel more alive in my day-to-day life, to have these date nights to look forward to. And then you ask them if it works for them. Could this work for you? They say yes or no. They might say no. That would really suck.
That's right.
But sometimes it happens that we get a no, or we get a no, not once every 2 weeks, but I could do once every 3 weeks, or I can do once a month, but once that feels too frequent. So you guys come together with the agreement, make an agreement. Okay, I can't do that, but I can do this. Do not skip the last step. The last step is there anything you need from me in order to make this happen? Why shouldn't you skip that?
It's an us moment. We love us
It's
moments.
making it collaborative. Yeah, it's making it collaborative, but also they might have a need around this that's practical. Like, yes, I do. I need you to create a calendar invite for us. Or could you put in a reminder, like if we're going to do this on Fridays, could you just send me a reminder on Tuesdays? Because, I'm so crazy busy right now. I feel overwhelmed, but I want to do this for you. And I'm afraid I'm going to forget. And I really don't want to disappoint you. So it's having these conversations when both people's nervous systems are calm and giving them the framework and the ways to win and owning that you're coming at it from a calm, neutral, positive place when you do your ask, setting the conversation up for success instead of blindly calling out what you're not getting during an argument. Because all of the tools that I've put in these relationship chapters in the book, this isn't supposed to just be theory. It's like, well, okay, I'm in a fight with my partner. What do I do tonight? Like, what do I do right now? Like, I'm feeling scared of losing this person. How do I act? Let's make this practical. And this is very practical and it works.
Mm-hmm. And I like all the specifics. I think it's really helpful. Another thing you're specific about is diamond boundaries in practice, rose petals, wooden fence, barbed wire, and when to use each and how it contributes to joy.
So the diamond boundaries, this is something that I learned from a mentor of mine. Her name is Nani Leah Diamond, and that's why I call them diamond boundaries. And these are the 3 levels of boundaries. So like we did the distinctions around need, preference, desire, and if we don't have that language, we can just think it's all a need, right? This is different ways to say no. This creates different levels of no. So the rose petals is really when something's just not to your liking and you don't want to say yes to it. It's a no thank you. Would you like to go to this thing that sounds draining that's 3 hours outside of town? No thank you. No, we're not going to be able to make that. No. And thank you for the invitation. We're not going to be able to do that. That's a no thank you. And then there's the hard no. That's the wooden fence energy, right? The hard no means you are very clear and you need to assert some force with your clarity. Some sort of boundary has been crossed and you're letting them know this is a hard no for me. Like, oh, you showed up at my house unannounced and we're in the middle of something. I need you to not do that. I need notice. I need notice. I love you. I need notice. Mom, you cannot just show up, or neighbor or sister or friend, whatever that is, that hard no. And it's not yet barbed wire, right? It's just clear. It's asserted powerfully. The other person can feel that you're serious about it. And then the barbed wire is like, it's pretty much sending the cease and desist. It's like, we mean business and we're not effing around, okay? So the barbed wire is the energy of don't F with me, don't fuck with me, right? Which I think I say the F word once in my book, and it's about this. Do not go there. So it's someone has crossed a boundary in a way that is deeply disturbing, and you are letting them know, do not walk another step in this direction and don't ever do that again, or there will be repercussions. So you can do that in an email. You can do that with a hard no, don't come this way, in that way, ever again conversation. It can look like legal action. It could look like a letter from your lawyer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure.
But sometimes, women have a very complicated relationship with the word no. And sometimes when we find our voice, we can just defer into a hard no for everything when it's not necessary and it's an overcorrection. So understanding that different circumstances call for different levels of boundaries, it's empowering.
So you describe an absence of joy as depleted energy. And we end up reaching for food or alcohol as a temporary Band-Aid. So how can we create joy or positive moments to regain our energy? Because I think energy is such an important topic in general, because fatigue is something everybody describes themselves. I'm tired. I'm too tired for this or that.
Well, I'm curious when somebody tells me that they're too tired. I'm always curious, how are they replenishing?
Yep.
And when you have downtime, are you plopping on the couch and scrolling? And that's your replenishment, because that's very normalized, but that's not replenishing.
It's not nourishing.
No, it's kind of like a mental cigarette, and we're all sort of addicted to these mental cigarettes that are scrolling. Oh, I have a minute. Let me look on Facebook. Who's doing what? Oh, let me look on Instagram, and they've figured out a way to capture our attention, and keep us on there. There's a whole science behind keeping us on there as long as possible. So when someone says they're tired, I'm like, okay, well, how are you replenishing? Let's actually track what you're doing with your off time. And if you can reclaim even 30 minutes of your day from the mind suck of the apps and the social media world, or the devices, and replace that with getting sunshine on your face, a walk outside, movement that feels really fun and good to you, or something that's actually replenishing for your spirit or your soul. And if you can do that consistently, your mental health will be in a whole different place in 10 days. So this is one of those things. Yeah, what were you going to say, Sue?
Movement, I think, is very under discovered. I just think getting off the couch, getting away from the phone, I think all of those things. And I think finding what is nourishing, and of course, gratitude is nourishing, nature is nourishing, research based. And I just think we lose track of doing the things that are important. And now that winter's coming, people are even more likely to retreat on the couch. And I just think it's sad.
Well, it makes us sad.
That's a better way to
It,
put
it,
it, yes.
yeah, it is sad, and also it contributes to us feeling sad and stuck. And the way to feel more magical and joyful and alive is to do things that are good for your spirit and your mental health consistently, even if it's small micro choices. So this is, I cannot, it sounds so very basic, and also most people aren't doing it. Get some sunshine on your face, go for a phone-free walk. I don't care if it's 5 minutes. Start with 5. It's about these micro choices of getting on the sneakers, getting outside, getting the sunlight. The sun is not the enemy. No, it's not. Getting the sunlight in your eyes, in your face, allowing that chemical thing to happen for you, having a little bit of movement in your body, and become a person who moves. For the women, I am she who moves. I move. I'm a person of movement. Oh, something's 10 minutes away. You know what? I'm going to walk to it. Oh, there's a dance class happening, even if you don't feel in your perfect shape. How often do most of us feel in perfect shape?
Rarely.
Yeah, like, oh, I'm not going to go to the gym because I'm not in shape to go to the gym. What?
That
I'm not going to go to the dance class because I'm not in good enough shape to go to the dance class? How do you think this works, babe? Like, reverse engineer it. Decide to be alive now and go to the things when you're not in perfect shape.
What haven't we covered that you would like to share with my audience?
Oh, what a beautiful question. Um, I will put in, we've done these great sets of 3. So the last thing that I'll share, one of my favorite distinctions in relationships, and this applies to work relationships, friendships, familial relationships. I want to give the distinction around givers takers, and matchers.
Okay.
So we all loosely fall into one of these categories. And givers, it's what the name just says, right? These are the people who are flowing with help. Oh, you need this? I got you. Oh, okay. They're always sending resources. It brings them joy. They're not counting. They're not waiting to see if something comes back. You know these people. They're just funneling good energy to other people. Sometimes they get taken advantage of, but they don't stop. It's just who they are. They're givers. And then we've got matchers. Matchers do count. They count. So they go, oh, you know what? You got dinner last time. I'll get dinner this time. Oh, you got lunch this time. I'll get lunch. Oh, you came to my house. Now I'm going to come to your house. You promoted my thing. I promote your thing. They're all about fair. It's fair. You know, it's reciprocal. It's fair. And then we've got the takers. And the takers, they're not bad. They just are unconscious around the fact that they receive more than they are putting back. They if you buy them dinner once, they might say thank you, they might not. You buy them a dinner again, they'll say thank you. They will not feel called to reciprocate unless you call it out or unless you stop the pattern. I remember one particular friend of mine, I noticed in the dance community, I would always buy him a drink because he was always coming back from, oh, welcome back, let me get you a drink. And I noticed this man has never offered to buy me a soda water or a glass of water, nothing. And it's I'm not a matcher until it's so out of whack and so lopsided that I'm now I am a matcher. I'm a matcher with that one. So I noticed one time he'd come back once again from something, and we were at the bar, and he kind of looked at me are you gonna do the thing? And I was I just looked at him and I smiled, and he goes, I don't think I've ever bought you a drink.
Oh, wow.
And I was no, you haven't. And he was oh, let me do that. And I was got it. So it required a pause on my side, a pause and an interruption of the pattern. So givers, takers, and matchers, it's just something to consider about yourself. It's something to consider about other people so that we're in right relationship with giving and receiving, and the best relationships are reciprocal. So it's just something to be aware of.
I like the clarity. Please remind my audience of the name of your book and website.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Rhoda. So the name of my book is Made for Magic. You can go to madeformagicbook.com and get the first chapter for free. It is so filled with juicy morsels and stories and tools. You could stop right there and just read the first chapter, or you can get the whole book. It's available on Amazon. And I'm Positively Elizabeth, all the places. So that's my website. That's my Instagram. I always keep it fun and helpful as much as I can. So follow me, and I would love to share my light with you. That's why I'm here.
Thanks so much. So go ahead, audience. Dance in your kitchen, laugh too loud, say yes to what makes your heart lift. Life doesn't get less complicated, but joy keeps it human, keeps it worth showing up for. Thanks for spending time with us. Follow me on Instagram at Rhoda on Couples.
Thank you for listening to What Healthy Couples Know That You Don't. If you have enjoyed the show, please leave a rating and review on iTunes and help get the word out. To learn more or connect with Rhoda, visit therapyideas.net.